We're telling tales of the music we grew up with. That's the 70s plus more. So crank it up, let's set the tone. It's more than music, it's the life we own. Take it away, fat man.
Well, welcome everybody to another exciting episode of Mick and the Fat Man. It's Series 6 and it's episode number 8. G'day Mick, happy rock and roll to you, sir, and how are you travelling?
Mate, as usual, I'm travelling pretty fine. Once again, we're out here at the Mick and the Fat Man South studio, and it's a bit windy, but lovely and nice and warm autumn weather.
At some point you're going to have to come up to the original and the best Mick and the Fat Man studio in the mountains, mate.
Well, life keeps getting in the way in our visitation schedules.
I know, I have to keep coming travelling down to find you down here on the on the glorious south coast.
Can you not do this while I've not got my violin with me?
Well, you know, it's tough. It's pretty tough for me, you know.
It is a very small violin, and it fits into my hand, and I can play it with two fingers. But playing sympathetic music.
I hate your guts. Anyway, let's move on. What have you been up to lately, mate?
Mate, I've got a new book.
Well, you written one?
No, I can't write. My writing is just... In fact, since I've got a computer, my writing is abominable. Just dreadful. It's even worse than it ever used to be. But anyway, that's another story. Now, I've got a new book. You remember way back when... a lot of the albums that we used to listen to featured a couple of guys by the name of Steve Hunter and Dick Wagner.
I do.
Yep. And then a while back we had a bit of they were a dynamic pair of guitarists from the 70s onwards, playing with Lou Reed. They played with Kiss, but yeah, that's all right. Alice Cooper.
What did they do with Kiss?
Oh, played because...
Made all their music for them.
Absolutely, yeah, because the Kiss guys were too busy having sex with audience members and putting their makeup on.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you're going to be in the studio, you've got to get your makeup on, don't you?
Absolutely. Well, they weren't that great, but... Apparently Kiss fans will absolutely decapitate you for saying that Kiss weren't terribly good on their musical instruments, but facts are facts.
Can't help that, mate.
You cannot indeed. Anyway, so Steve Hunter and Dick Wagner played on all of these albums, stuff that we rate as some of the best albums ever made, obviously not including Kiss. Destroyer, by the way. So, look... We were talking a while back now, whatever happened to Dick Wagner? Because Steve Hunter, he's been easy to keep a track of, and he's still appearing on albums, stuff that we know and like. And we were wondering what happened to Dick Wagner. And I did a bit of a cursory search and couldn't find much at all on him. But I did find that he passed away in 2014, right? As everyone we listen to tends to do.
Right. That's probably why he won't answer your calls.
Oh. Well, I was getting really annoyed, and it was a bit of a relief when I found out.
Yeah, no, fair enough too.
But my wife, great bird that she is, decided to go hunting, and she found that before he passed away, obviously, Dick had written an autobiography in 2012 called, the title's a bit cringy,
My Big Dick. No?
No, actually, although that's an obvious title. Not Only Women Bleed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. With a reference for those who are obtuse to the max, Welcome to My Nightmare had a single called Only Women Bleed by Alice Cooper.
Yeah, right.
Big hit. Dick Wagner played on it. Blah, blah, blah. The book's out of print, but she managed to find me an autographed copy on an online auction.
Really?
Yeah. Unfortunately, she was outbid on that one at the last minute. So don't get in her way if she's looking for something.
Yeah, right.
She wants something. You know that.
Yeah.
So after a long search, she found another copy. So she contacted you know her. You wouldn't be surprised to find that she contacted the seller, told him about our podcast and how Dick Wagner had been such an important element in my and our life, in our musical development.
Really?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The seller was pleased that it was going to someone who'd appreciate it and locked in the sale for her.
Going to a good home.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. I think that part of the story, I mean, you could stop it there. It's just great. Look, I'm currently reading the book, which starts at his childhood, as good autobiographies do.
Sure.
His first guitar, like-minded friends, teenage bands, all of that sort of thing, and covers all of the aspects of his career. So I'm up to the bit where he gravitates to the Michigan scene, Detroit, Mount Ann Arbor, which apparently is another big lakeside town in Michigan.
Right.
And the rock scene there, also known as garage bands. Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that whole thing. And that is a definite thing in the US, that Detroit, Michigan garage sound. People like Iggy and the Stooges and a whole lot of other bands, not as well known, of course. The book is especially interesting for me. I've had some difficulty finding out information about his career, collaborations, achievements, and so on. So we've always loved him in his incarnation as half of Steve Hunter and Dick Wagner. And major influence on our teen years. Berlin, Welcome to My Nightmare, and Peter Gabriel's Car.
Okay.
Yes. So, look, I reckon there's a pretty good chance of an episode on Steve Hunter and Dick Wagner later this year.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
And he can do like My Mother Was a Car. Remember that show?
No.
No, it was a show on TV. My Mother Was a Car.
My Mother Was a Car.
Something like that. I think I made that up.
I think you did. Yeah, I can't see that succeeding, that sort of a show.
I think it was there was a show called My Mother Was a Car.
Really?
And she was the radio. She talked to her son in the radio.
Oh, my God.
Anyway.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Peter Gabriel's Car.
Hey.
There you go. Don't know where that came from. Sorry about that. Let's move on.
Yes, please do. Let's.
Well, why don't you
Yep.
go over and get the beautiful, shall we say, sorry. Why don't you pop over there and get the magnificent Globite travel bag?
It's not on the beach again, is it?
No, it's not, because the surf lifesavers have got it over in there. You know, they've got their little tent thing that they have there. It's the little thing there. They've got it there, but it's on the back of the motorbike, on the back of their quad bike.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, over here, fellas.
I told the bloke, bring it over, because he found it in the water. I don't know why you keep taking it down to the beach for. I know you like the beach. I know you love the beach. I know you love swimming out in the ocean and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Ocean, pools.
The Globite
Everywhere.
school bag is not a flotation device, all right? I'm just letting you know.
Oh, now you tell me.
It's for carrying the notes for these shows. Nothing else.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'll try and keep that in mind.
He's over
Thanks,
here, fellas.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks,
Yep.
mate.
Yeah,
Appreciate
good on you.
it. Look, I just need to remind you that is what it is, okay?
Yep.
So let's just get it open, see how that goes there. I'll get this one at the back here and the other two.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, good.
We'll just see, we'll get them open, okay?
I'll just sit here feeling chastised.
Well, you should too. The surfies are not very happy with you because you keep bringing it down here and people wonder what's going on.
Yeah. We'll do an episode on surf music one day, fellas.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay.
It's a bird. We're still outside.
Yeah.
Why do we have
We're
to
not
keep...
just making this up, you know, folks.
Why do we have
We're
to
at the
keep-
beach.
Why do we have to keep coming inside? Can't we go inside? Doesn't matter.
I wish the seagulls wouldn't poop on us.
What's inside the bag, Mick?
Skyhooks.
Oh.
Yeah. You remember Skyhooks from the 70s? Controversial band, interesting music, burst out like a candelabra and vanished just as quick.
They were massive in their time.
They were indeed.
Brief though it may have been.
Yeah, yeah.
They were a massive band. That first album was absolutely huge and so instrumental in our early life.
Oh, absolutely.
Living in the 70s. Wow.
Well, exactly. I mean, talk about summing it all up.
It was an amazing album.
Yeah. And a little bit rude.
Amazing cover.
Yep.
So it was just great.
Yep. So they only stayed on the scene for a few short years and then they disappeared, but they've left a huge mark. I think their mark on Australian music is disproportionate to the actual product that they delivered.
Okay.
But everybody knows them, and everybody, for one reason or another, everybody knows the members of Skyhooks.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to talking about them.
All right. Well, before we delve into that, let's have a bit of a look at what we've got going on around here at the moment. I want to talk about this little thing.
Rock news, rock news. Everybody's talking about rock news. The Fat Man is bringing all the news and all the views. Rock news. It's rock news.
Michael,
Yes?
guess what there is?
What?
A new movie coming out called Michael.
I know.
It's about you. It's autobiographical.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Does it get to the bit where we do this podcast?
It's your early life. It only concentrates on your
nice.
early life.
Oh, 70s and 80s. Yeah.
You as a 14-year-old in your bedroom with a porno magazine. That's all it does. That's the whole show.
Well, that'd be a long show then.
It's a great show. Mr. Jackson. So Michael Jackson has a new autobiographical film, much in the same, not a documentary, but a biographical drama, I think is the right term they use.
A la Elton John and Queen and
Queen,
what have you.
And it follows the life of the American singer, obviously Michael Jackson, covering the period from Jackson 5 days in the 60s to his early solo career.
Ah, right.
Jackson's portrayed by his nephew, Jafar Jackson.
What?
And, what?
Jafar.
Jafar.
That's his real name.
Yeah, that's his
Wow.
name. That's his nephew. And he's plays him. And, so I got a bit of a clip from the opening.
Michelle, welcome to Chile, Berlin, and the world premiere of the Michael movie. The Jackson family is here. There are fans from 68 different countries, and they are all here to see this man right here.
How do they know that?
Jafar Jackson, who morphs into
invited
Michael.
It's another ET exclusive.
Is that Michael's jacket?
This is a replica. So I definitely want to...
The Michael Jackson soundtrack features 13 songs showcased in the film, spanning his early career with the Jackson 5, as I said, and including material from Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad.
Great way for the record company to milk some more money out of the poor bloke.
Well, here's an interesting fact. Now, when Michael died, everybody remembers when Michael died. It was one of those things. The police call in and all that sort of stuff was all very big. Michael was using anaesthetic agents to get to sleep at night. It was all sorts of terrible stuff. He was about $500 million in debt.
Wow.
So there was this megastar who was basically going back on tour to get money again. They're now worth, the Michael Jackson estate is now worth somewhere in the order of $2 billion or more, potentially 3.5. And so in 2000, this is I was just listening to about the Michael Jackson estate and how it's basically being run by one of his old lawyers and all this sort of stuff. But in 2024, they did a deal where Sony acquired half of the catalogue of Michael Jackson's catalogue for $600 million. That was went to the estate, and and in his will, he stipulated that 40% of his estate would go to his mother. So his mother's not doing too bad. 20% went to charity, and the remaining 40% was divided amongst his children, Prince, Paris, and it's not Biggie, it's BG or Bigi or something like that. And they basically each receive an allowance at around about $8 million a year. Just your allowance for expenses.
I used to get 20 cents a week.
So did I. So they're each worth around about $150 million American each. But look, Paris isn't overly keen on the movie, and this is her talking about it. So let's have a listen to what she's going to say.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, and then I'll kind of just leave it alone, because it seems like there's been a lot of responses. there's been a lot of responses to the thing that I posted earlier about just, like, clarifying, like, that I wasn't involved at all.
She wasn't
Aside
involved.
from, like, giving feedback on the first
She
draft and
she
then
wasn't involved, Mick.
getting
Thank God.
the feedback that, yeah, we're not actually going to address your notes at all.
No, there was, so
like,
she had
alright, like,
concerns.
Fuck me, you know.
not.
So I just, like, butt it out, and I just, like, I've left it alone because it's not.
I can't understand why they wouldn't have sought her advice when you realise how articulate she is.
Absolutely. You think, yeah. Well, Jacko wasn't either, really.
No, not at all. But the two sons went to the opening, but she didn't turn up to the opening of the premiere.
Which one's which? Which one are the sons with these names?
So Paris is the girl,
Oh, okay, right.
and BG and Prince are the boys.
Oh, good. Oh, they're more logical boy names.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. When the baby, when he's born, the son comes out, and you go, my God, he's got a biggie, hasn't he? And so the name just sort of stuck, I guess. I don't know.
It's just one of those things. Somebody wrote it down, and the rest is history.
Biggie, yep. Okay, got it, Rod. No, not Rod, I mean fucking Michael. Anyway, so Paris wasn't very happy with some of the stuff that went on in the movie. To say that the movie is a puff piece to ensure that the estate continues to make lots of money and doesn't get too bogged down in some of the later issues in relation to Michael's personal life is an understatement.
I would say so, yeah.
And a response, obviously, to Finding Neverland, which was not particularly praiseworthy of Mr.
Correct.
Jackson.
Yep.
So the estate is very keen on making sure that it continues to make large amounts of money.
Wow. And the names of his lawyers are interesting here. John Branca was a wild jazz player in New York some time back, and John McClane was the name of Bruce Willis's character in Die Hard. So
It's not.
so he's got John McClane not taking any nonsense at all.
So that's why the estate's worth so much, because he just says, "We're taking no money."
That's right. Well, he doesn't say anything these days.
No, he doesn't say anything,
Is he
unfortunately.
still alive?
He is.
Oh.
He is, but he's happy.
Yeah, well, that's good.
He's happy, which is good to hear. Very good to hear. But anyway, I thought we might go and see that, I think, Mick, just to
Waste the admission price?
I want to see it. I do want to see it. Just to listen to the music. The music's good. There's good music in there.
Is that? Oh, good.
And you can sort of go, okay, what about all the other stuff? Shall we talk about the fact that he was interviewed with a young boy, holding the young boy's hand, asking people what is wrong with sleeping in the same bed with young boys? Should we mention that or not? No, we shouldn't mention
I don't think that'll be in the movie.
No, but it is recorded on television in an interview.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't need to go there any further, do we?
I must say, I have no inside knowledge of Michael Jackson's life whatsoever, but I suspect that much of his negative reputation is built up from stupid things like that, instead of not thinking before he opens his mouth. I don't know how nefarious his activities were. I have my suspicions that it was probably a lack of inhibitions and social skills rather than any pedophilia aspects.
He certainly paid a lot of money to make those aspects go away.
Well, yeah, and I say that's just my own personal opinion. I have no information or idea at all.
No, we don't know. Dangling one of your babies out of a window apartment.
Oh, that's all right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mick, let's move on, and probably the best theme song we have, which is the Rod Stewart moment.
Oh dear.
This beautiful piece of music developed by AI that bears no resemblance to Rod Stewart whatsoever. But I do have a Rod Stewart moment. And Rod recently went in and crashed a pub karaoke session, much to the delight of the locals.
Excellent.
Rod surprised the punters when he joined locals for a spot of pub karaoke. The rocker made an appearance at the Falkirk pub after watching his beloved Celtics secure a 1-0 victory against Falkirk on Wednesday, the 14th of January. It's a little while ago, a couple of months back. Footage shared by an 81-year-old whiskey brand footage shared by the 81-year-old's whiskey brand Wolfie Whiskey. Wolfie Whiskey. Wolfie shows the singer belting out Have You Ever Seen the Rain by Creedence Clearwater Revival. So, and he was accompanied by his son, who was 20, and who he shares with his current wife, Penny Lancaster. So would have been great if you had been there and an old 81-year-old bloke was churning out some music for you.
Cranky old bloke. Yeah. You're a world traveller, Jeffrey. Have you ever been to Falkirk?
Look, I haven't been there. I'm assuming it's in Scotland,
Aye.
but I don't know where it is.
In the middle there somewhere. It's a great place. It's they've got a series of locks, to travel the rivers inland in Scotland.
Yeah.
And this has got I don't know what you'd call it, a bridge of sorts, and an elevator on the lock. So 100 feet up in the air.
I know the place.
The boat comes to rest on this ledge 100 metres up in the air, which then goes down like an elevator.
No, doesn't it do this?
No,
That's another.
Oh, that'd be scary.
I thought that's Falkirk.
Oh, same sort of thing. It drops it down.
Yeah.
100 foot,
Isn't it
30 odd metres.
Isn't it on like a wheel though?
I could be remembering it wrong, but I was there, and
You were there.
I was there when they did it. Yeah, and that's where I fell off my one of those those one wheel
Segway.
things. Segway.
You
Yes.
fell off.
Fell off a bloody Segway, broke my ribs, and had to fly back to Australia from Scotland with broken rib.
Now, which is relatively unsafe, of course.
Yes.
And we advise people not to do this at home. What I find amusing is that here's a man who's ridden motorbikes all his life.
Everywhere, mind you.
In fact, for the first half of his life, he never owned a car licence, only a motorbike licence, ridden more motorbikes than he can poke a stick at, put him on a Segway, which also has two wheels, but it's controlled slightly differently, of course. Off he goes, breaks a rib, comes home a bit of a basket case.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're not the first person to have pointed out the enormous silliness of that situation.
Yeah. Anyway, that's right, Falkirk. I could have sworn that they had the... I'm going to check now because I want to know if I've made it up, because I just had it in my head.
Well, you're renowned for making stuff up, Jeffrey.
I do.
Yeah.
I make shit up all the time.
Yeah.
Falkirk. I'm just going to...
For our overseas listener, the expression Jeff just used, make shit up, is a uniquely Australian expression, except by other people, regarding chronic lying.
Now, I will mention, Mick, that it's called the Falkirk Wheel, and it's the world's only rotating boat lift.
Oh, that one.
The other one. You were at the other one.
Right, yes.
You're at the one that just went straight up
the
and
one
down.
went straight up and down.
Where
yes.
most people go to the rotating one.
Yeah,
but never
exactly.
mind.
Yep.
I thought there was a wheel there.
Oh,
Anyway,
well.
you would never.
I was suffering from a broken rib,
You had
Jeffrey.
a broken rib and you were pissed.
Pissed off.
Anyway, 1001 albums you must listen to before you die, sir. I lie. You must hear before you die.
Well, you can't hear it if you don't listen to it.
Now, last show, if you remember, we did the Penguin Cafe Orchestra, which you loved.
Yes.
And recommended it to the boys on page 366. Well, I decided I just turned the page over and went to, guess where?
Page 367.
Correct. And on page 366 is artist Jean-Michel Jarre with Oxygene.
Oxygene, oui.
Not Oxygene, it's Oxygene. I assume Gene.
Yeah.
So, 1976, produced by Michael Jarre. Cover art was by Editions Marquis and Michael Granger.
Yep.
Running time 39:39, which is a nice number, 39:39. And indeed, it got into the charts in Australia.
Yeah.
Got to a high of 29, was in for 35 weeks. Well, Mick, what can you tell us about the wonderful album of Mr. Jarre?
It's a terrific album. I love it. For all of the reputation you've tried to give me of liking stuff that nobody else likes, that's got all sorts of jarring sounds and things on it. I'm really loving the last couple that you've picked. The Penguin Cafe Orchestra, as we said, we had a good talk about that, and that's really, really good. Some groundbreaking use of sounds. And this one is the same thing. Around the time, the mid-70s, bands like Kraftwerk, Tangerine Dream and Vangelis, who of course was not a band, he was a man, but they were setting the they were setting the scene for grand soundscapes. But Oxygene,
We'll just call it Oxygen, mate.
Oxygen, I think so. It's Oxygen French, yeah. But laid the groundwork for real otherworldly sort of, you can imagine space travel or something while you're listening to this, synth-based sounds. And look, it inspired the electronica movement that's followed for the last 20 or 30 years.
The thing that's interesting is that, we've had Panama a la Jarre Very on the show, who basically makes electronic music-based music.
Yep.
Basically just does it out of his garage, for want of a better term, and mixes it and gets it mixed worldwide.
I was wondering where you were going to go with that.
But the amount of work to do that nowadays compared to the amount of work it took them and the expense that they had to buy their synthesizers was like selling a lung. It was super, super expensive.
God, times have changed, haven't they?
Infancy. And even if you buy expensive synthesizers today, it doesn't cost the same as a house.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. A very small one.
Little house. Yeah. Well, tiny house. Well, tiny houses are in too.
Anyway. They're very fashionable. Yep.
Very fashionable. But yeah, it was Jean-Michel Jarre. Fantastic music. Yeah. And sort of, it's used everywhere. It's been used everywhere, some of the songs in there.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And you'll more often than not hear it popping up as a musical illustration for a TV program, documentary, the news, that sort of thing. Funnily enough, they're a musical family. Jean-Michel Jarre is the son of film composer Maurice Jarre, who did, for instance, Lawrence of Arabia. That sort of that music over all the sandhills and everything. It was lovely.
That's great.
And he won an Academy Award for that.
There you go. That's very good music.
Yes, it is. It's lovely. So he comes from very good musical stock. Have they found the gene for musical stock yet? Because obviously Ringo Starr's son is a good drummer, so he hangs out with good musicians.
Autism, I think, is usually...
Oh, is that what it is? Right, yes, of course it would be.
Usually something like that.
Yeah. And
they're all bloody on the spectrum, the really good ones, aren't they?
Well, Jason Bonham, he's on the spectrum. I wonder if he can drink a bottle of brandy before each show, that sort of thing.
He's coming out to Australia too.
Yeah, the Led Zeppelin Experience. JBLZE. That's the name of the show.
Yeah, I know. I don't...
Jason Bonham Led Zeppelin Experience.
Oh, is that what it's... I saw it and I thought, I don't understand.
And I'm not sure about it. It might be good, but it's...
to be honest,
a tribute show is a tribute show.
That's what I reckon. It doesn't matter who the drummer is. You and I could go and see an Australian Led Zeppelin tribute show and probably get just as much enjoyment out of paying 3 times the price to see John Bonham do it.
I think so, yeah. This album, keeping with the family, he comes from a family that everybody knows. He'd already had 2 albums out. Probably didn't sell all that one, given that this was his groundbreaking, his breakthrough album. He was rejected by all the major labels. So he shopped it around, and the sound on this one is terrific. He was ultimately signed by independent label Disquemateurs.
Yeah.
Pardon my French pronunciation, anyone who's listening in Paris, but that's...
Sorry.
But the joke was on the majors. It sold 10 million copies. Good on you, fellas. Good decision. Probably the same bloke who rejected the Beatles for not being interesting enough.
Yeah. Do you go to your grave just regretting one decision of your life? I think you do.
You do. Yeah. Dad, is it true that you rejected Jean-Michel Jarre's Oxygene?
My dear, I single-handedly rejected that based on the fact that I thought that it would not do very well.
Yeah.
And I've made quite a lot of drinks down the pub from people telling them that story. You know, like your claim to fame. What did you do, Dad, in the war? I rejected one of the biggest electronic music artists in the world.
Absolutely. Now, talk about connections. The pictures on the cover, it's all very, very science fiction-y, space age. His wife, well, the photographer at the time was Charlotte Rampling, who he went on to marry.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah, you lucky bastard. Yeah, no, she's not an altogether unattractive woman, and I think he's done extremely well. She was probably impressed by his musical skills and just wanted to sing along.
Yeah, that's right. La-di-da-di-da.
Things like, and I think you've hit the nail on the head when you talked about the cost then versus the cost now. He had to use things like an all-new Farfisa organ. Yeah, so you say Farfisa now, and the local tribute band down the pub's got one.
Why'd you Farfisa off, you bastard?
Something like that. He was one of the first users of the Mellotron.
Yep.
And obviously Sherbet picked up after that and used, if Jarre can do it, we can use the Mellotron.
Split ends, it was...
Split ends, yeah. He made a big hit in Australia. And ARP synthesizers. I'm not familiar with the ARP oeuvre, but being such an electronic whiz as you would be right on top of ARPs.
Just another expensive piece of kit.
I imagine very expensive since it had just been released at the time. Yeah, brand new.
I can't imagine how much they would have been. It would have been something like... It would probably be the equivalent of like $100,000, I dare say.
Wow, yeah.
I would dare say.
Yeah, because they didn't have even the studio equipment to really do something with that sound at the time. But, eerie floating melodies, when you've got all that electronic power, you can do sort of that sort of sound.
Dun, 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 dun.
Exactly.
Whizzy soundy things. All
Yeah,
that sort of stuff.
whizzy, that's the word I've got written down here. Whizzy.
Whizzy
Forget
soundy.
ethereal and eerie. I want to use whizzy.
When it comes to the English language, I'm your man, buddy. I'm your man.
Number 3, look, the track listing is really gives you some idea of where he's going with the sounds that he wants on this album. It's Oxygene 1, Oxygene 2,
Good.
Oxygene 3,
Good.
Oxygene 4,
The favourite.
5 and 6.
Number 4 is, in fact, the favourite.
It really gets you going. You get a feel for what each song is. It's not like a song about somebody that you left and it doesn't matter anyway.
That's right.
Good heavens.
From the Penguins.
Yes, exactly. Vibrato sounds and subterranean has been described as subterranean reminiscent atmospheres with bolero-like features. I thought,
Hello.
jeez, no
Hello.
wonder it cost him an arm and a leg for the equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah. A bit like the Eno album, where ambient music for airports. 1, 2,
3,
2, 1,
1,
2, 2.
Oh, that's right. 1, 2, 2.
So at least they gave a little more information,
One,
telling
one.
you what side it was on.
That's right. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2.
Yeah, that's crazy. Look, it's become fashionable in some circles and has been for quite some time to insult music that's left of centre by calling it progressive. Yeah, and obviously, if your benchmark is the local Sharpie band down the pub, clearly you're going to think that. If it doesn't go thump 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 with a bass beat and a drum beat in sync, it's not worth listening to. But look, I think this album really puts the lie to that conceit. It indicates a lack of understanding rather than offering any gateway to understanding the music. The music's great. It's got a variety of floating sort of sound and interesting. As you were somewhat tunelessly humming before.
Thank you.
It was very good.
Thank you.
I am going to put some of this album on the playlist. I'm not sure how because each track is very different. So I'm not sure that any track on the playlist is going to give you a clear indication of
Number
this
4,
album.
I think number 4 is the...
Maybe number 4, yeah.
That's the
yeah.
classic.
But
single
I would
and stuff.
recommend that you have a listen to the album. It's pretty easy. Just Oxygene with an E on the end of it.
Yeah.
Easy to find.
And it's 39 minutes.
Absolutely,
seconds.
yeah. They'll have that. Spotify, Apple, all of them. Be able to find it. Unless they've got a spell check on their album listings. I think from here on, you've got to put an embargo, Jeffrey, on ambient synthesizer style music.
We've had a bit of it, haven't we?
We have had a bit, yeah.
All right.
And look, it's stretching me to try and sell, gold to people who want pigskin.
All right. On that note, we will move ourselves on to some pigskin. When you said those words, people who just want to go down the pub and listen to Sharpie music, I'm thinking that's alienated 2/3 of the audience we've ever had. How many? Well, not alienated, but left most of the audience in a quandary as to what the fuck is a Sharpie. Apart from
Thank you.
pen.
You're right. Absolutely. Yeah. A Sharpie is the equivalent. What they call them in England, bother boys.
Not bother boys. Is that real bother boys?
Bother boys. Yeah.
You bother me and I bother you.
Yeah. So no, we'll give you a bit of bother.
Skinheads.
Skinheads. Yeah. With that dreadful haircut of slightly growing it slightly or cutting it slightly longer at the back.
Yeah.
Cutting it at the front, cutting a line across your fringe,
Mullets.
across your forehead, a mullet
sort of
style, but far more
Shorter.
aggressive than a mullet.
Shorter.
Yeah.
Shorter, spiky on top, longer at the back,
Yeah.
and wearing clothes that would suggest that I really want to hit you.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. Overalls, with the belt and brace overalls, striped t-shirts, and girls that say, "Hey, you got a problem?"
And fans of Slade.
Exactly right. Yes.
Big fans of Slade.
Big
Anyway,
fans. Yeah.
let's move on, Mick. Why
move
don't
on.
you start talking a little bit about a band we both love, Skyhooks?
Skyhooks, indeed. Burst out of Melbourne in the 70s as live Australian music was becoming a force. So they rode that wave right from the start. Members of the band, probably well known to most Australians, not so much to our overseas listeners. Graham Shirley Strachan, who was nicknamed Shirley because he had curly hair, a la Shirley Temple.
Oh, how'd they come up with that?
Yeah, it's creative, isn't it?
Crazy
Yeah.
guys.
It's crazy guys, yeah. Greg Macainsh on bass, Redmond Symons on lead guitar and backing vocals, Freddie Strauks, or as he was labelled on the first album, Freddie Kaboodelschnitzer on drums, and Bob Bongo Starkie on rhythm, who recently passed away.
He did.
Yes, he did. They picked up on the European trend of outrageous costumes and songs that highlighted social issues in a very, very brash way, to say the least, often featuring drugs, sex, and the gay scene. Yeah, so,
Yep.
Yeah, they got it all. The wild costumes and the makeup that Skyhooks had, for Australia, it was brand new. You weren't getting a lot of that. Even the only other band in that costume scene was Split Ends, but their costumes were colourful Harlequin type stuff. The Skyhooks was really confronting.
I think if you think back to For Your Pleasure, the inside cover of For Your Pleasure,
absolutely,
that's the kind of style of clothing you were looking at. But then they had quite intricate makeup.
They
Quite
did.
intricate makeup.
Yeah. Redmond Symons in particular. And at the time, you got all the bloody poofters, type nonsense.
There
was nonsense. But it was just theatrical.
Was very theatrical.
It was indeed, and their performances made use of the theatrical nature of their costumes.
Yeah.
So, the For Your Pleasure, that's a terrific analogy. The peacock-like full body costume, with the collar and the swirls, peacock-like swirls springing up from Eno's neck.
Yep.
You'll have an idea of the type of costumes we're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. Shirley wore brightly coloured satins and Arabian pants. Yeah, he looked a little bit like Aladdin from the Disney movie. Yeah. That sort of thing is going to give you a picture of how he dressed on stage. Red Symons. Yeah, a stiff satin cloak with red beading, a bit reminiscent of something Frankenfurter might wear in Rocky Horror Show.
And didn't need to be particularly comfortable because he never moved. So
exactly right. Yes.
So Shirley was sort of bouncing around the stage the whole time.
Yep.
But the rest of the band were a little less animated.
Macainsh moved a bit.
Macainsh moved a bit,
Yeah.
yes. But Red never moved.
No. And that was, again, part of his shtick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Greg Macainsh, the bass player, he was the one whose costume didn't change.
Yes.
So he was always the cowboy, inverted commas. He wore a white cowboy suit with a white Stetson.
Yep.
And he very distinctive on stage, and whether they were using the coloured lights or a white light hit him. That reflected straight back out into the audience.
And he was tall too, so he really looked quite stylish in his outfit, didn't he?
He did. And he didn't have to do anything with his hair. He had a very, very straight haircut. Yeah, so they were terrific looking on stage. I loved them. Yeah.
And the drummer used to always be wearing something a little bit crazy.
He made a point of it.
He did.
Yeah. And the band as a whole, that's what we're here for. We're here to put on a show.
And interestingly, we talked about in Split Ends, Paul Hester at the very end joining Split Ends and then becoming quite the theatrical member of Crowded House, sort of humorous.
Yeah.
Well, here we had a drum solo when they were playing live that Freddie Strauks would do, where he would get up and he would often stand up and then prance around the stage with the arse out of his pants.
I'd forgotten that.
He would wear sort of like cowboy pants, and like they have the I don't know what they're called,
the drawers.
Yeah, and he'd have nothing hanging out of his ass. So he was really the precursor to the outrageous drummer having fun, not just being.
Certainly, they were all having fun. They were all there to get attention any way they could.
Exactly right.
Look, back in those mid-70s times, or back in those times,
back in the day,
there was no MTV or Countdown. Polaroid, a company, for those of you who recall, Polaroid was a film company that made images, made film that went into a specific Polaroid camera. You took the photograph, pulled the film, it was single-shot film, pulled it out, allowed it to dry.
They're still around today.
You can, yes, and then you can even put them onto a digital if you want to. Which is an interesting adaptation.
Yeah.
Adaptation, rather. But Polaroid, the company then, was a lot bigger than they are now. Anything they're doing now is clawing back what they can from the encroachments of digital on film and photography.
Yeah. Instant photos.
Yeah. They sponsored a program called Polaroid in Concert, and one which featured Australian bands from. They just go and film their concert, film the show, and put it on. It was on. I forget what station it was on, and that's largely irrelevant. But you can see bands all around Australia, and that was another thing that's oft overlooked. But that was another thing that fueled the great pub rock explosion that happened second half of the 70s through the 80s. Yeah, but if you can get Australian bands on TV. Yeah, people see how good they are live.
Yep.
Hell, I want to go and see them in concert.
Yep.
And so people talk about the great bands and great pub venues and everything, and all of that's true.
Yep.
But this is one of the first things that put it in people's mind. Hey, let's go and see a band because I've seen them on TV and they're good.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of the first bands they featured was Skyhooks, and with this costuming on TV, wow, what the hell's that?
Yep.
Yeah. The band was also, just as Split Ends was, this band was made for Countdown. Countdown, particularly as they went to colour TV, their brash songs and the ones they were allowed to play. More on that in a moment. And colourful makeup and costumes looked just great on TV. They really did. Naturally, some of their notorious songs and chants were not going to appear on any TV show, no matter how liberal the show might be. But they became an audience favourite, and people were hanging out for those particular stuff. They were like nothing we'd ever seen in Australia before. Wild. And to reinforce the image that they'd built, the visual image, Red Simon, and it's just... I had forgotten about the fact that he stood rock solid still on stage.
Yes.
But he then took it on himself to be as outrageous as he could. So how do you do that when you stand? You look outrageous, but you're not moving or doing anything with that. He took it on his voice. And I can remember seeing him a couple of times. I saw them once at a free concert at Dawes Point, which, for those who don't know Sydney, is the park underneath the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Yep.
Right, and they set up a stage there. It was a radio station at the time. In 76, the concert, I believe, was put on by radio station 2SM.
2SM.
Which was the commercial pop station at the time. And you can imagine their tolerance for controversy, given that the SM stood for St. Mary. It was owned by the Catholic Church. So, at this show, Red song, the band plays and everyone's really getting into it because they were red hot live. They were tight as. And Red took it on himself to go to the microphone. It was rehearsed, of course, and told the crowd that he wanted to have a little sing-along. So he starts and he said, "Suck shit." And then repeated it. And the rest of the band starts clapping their hands and going, come on, sing along. So he had the entire audience out at an outdoor concert at the Sydney Opera House, at the Sydney Harbour Bridge, singing "Suck Shit," which conservative Australia in the 70s was loving it.
That's great.
It was just totally the most inappropriate thing to do because don't forget, it was 76. Kids couldn't get into pubs. It was a lot harder to get into pubs then than it was later on. So the young crowd was right into it. Yeah. Not only were they seeing bands, but they were hearing swearing and stuff and rude songs.
Oh.
So his concert chants became a regular feature of Skyhooks Live.
Mm. Yeah. Suck shit.
Yeah, I can remember being shocked myself. I thought, you're kidding. He can't say that. Greg Macainsh wrote all their material.
Yeah.
A little bit like Tim Finn wrote most of Split Enz' early stuff. Their first album, released late 74, so it was a 75 album, basically. It was a package of biting, controversial social so biting and controversial, blimey.
It was insane.
It was absolutely insane. The fact that they could even release it. Lots of parents wouldn't let their kids play it at home for obvious reasons. The titles of songs. "You Just Like Me Because I'm Good in Bed." Obvious. "Turak Cowboy" was a comment on the gay scene. And Smut was about, you can guess it, masturbation in a movie theatre.
Into a bag of twisties, which was a
well. Red did the verses, and Shirley did the chorus.
So let me do a cinema and give yourself a treat.
Better take a raincoat, could be sticky on the seat. And then Shirley sings the chorus. "If your mother thought that you were whipping the dripping, she'd give you a belt that'd knock all the teeth from your fly." It was a huge hit, never played on the radio, of course.
No, it was great.
The Federation of Australian Commercial Broadcasters, not an organisation known for looking to push the boundaries, banned 6 songs from the album from Australian radio. "Turak Cowboy," "Whatever Happened to the Revolution," "You Just Like Me Because I'm Good in Bed," "Hey What's the Matter," "Motorcycle Bitch," and "Smut." And so Double J, you've heard us talk in the past about Double J being the ABC's youth radio. They wanted to play music that wasn't played anywhere else and look to push the boundary as much as they possibly could. So they started January 26, 1975 with "You Just Like Me Because I'm Good in Bed."
The very first song they played.
Absolutely.
And they hit the waves. The airwaves, and never looked back for the life of Double J. It was awesome.
Absolutely, yeah, that really set the mark about what they were going to do. Lots of other rude songs, and really groundbreaking music, and that's where our tastes were formed.
The thing with the band was that really gave them that sound was the 2 guitars, the rhythm guitar and the lead guitar, and the rhythm wasn't just. The rhythm guitar was really playing riffs, not really just playing chords.
Exactly right.
And it gave them a very unique sound. And they would have dueling guitars with the 2 guitarists, basically both playing different lines in the when they were playing rhythm. So they'd be playing 2 different things, giving them a very unique sound.
Created a great effect, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah, they were great. The album was obviously a huge hit, sold 4 times platinum. 475,000 copies in Australia, which was not a big record buying market at that time. That's when it started, when Australians started buying stuff.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Yeah. Look, their music settled down as their career developed.
Yeah.
They had the odd controversial song as they went along, but mostly it became songs in the same style, but it didn't have that burning, explosive nature that it had when they first came out of the box.
Their first album was very edgy,
Very
and
much.
they never really quite achieved that after that.
They never did. No.
And they had good songs. They had they had quite a few singles afterwards, and did
They
reasonably
did.
successfully. But their albums weren't that great, I didn't think.
And their sales of following albums were quite, or weren't anywhere near as big as that. The next album, Ego Is Not a Dirty Word, good single, blah blah blah, sold about half what Living in the 70s did. And Straight in a Gay World, which featured a black sheep in the middle of a herd of white sheep on the cover, half that again. So they used up much of their welcome, I guess, in the first album.
Yeah, I think that's right. And then basically they're much like Split Ends again. Their last album, Shirley had left. He was pursuing a television career.
Yep.
They had someone else doing the vocals, who I don't remember, and it's got the name Skyhooks on the album, but it's not a Skyhooks album.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it to me.
Yeah.
So that was really the end.
It's a bit of a desperate tactic to release an album of a band whose sales were declining anyway with the original lineup, with people no one had ever heard of.
Obviously, I don't know whether I don't know. Who knows? They obviously had enough contacts in the industry to be able to get an album out.
Yeah, well, clearly. After Skyhooks, Shirley went on to a multimedia career. He had a couple of TV shows. He had a kids show called Shirl's Neighbourhood.
Good on him.
Yeah, half-hour TV series with characters like Norm the Kangaroo and Old Possum and Claude the Crow. Real controversial stuff.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. He did go back on stage performing. He joined a band called the Party Boys, which was the ultimate fun tribute band. It was a band of leading Australian musicians from all of the top rock bands over the last 10 years. Not all of them,
And kind of a
obviously.
rotating roster, really.
Absolutely,
wasn't it?
yeah. So Party Boys and anybody who was free at the time.
Yeah, that's
came along.
great musos went through that band.
They did indeed. Graham Bidstrup from the Angels, the drummer, Kevin Borich on guitar,
great guitarist,
Paul Christie from Mondo Rock, and Robin Riley from Rose Tattoo. That's the calibre of musicians that they had there.
Yeah.
And they released an album. One of their albums was called Party Boys Greatest Hits, brackets of other people. And so things like they covered Kashmir by Led Zeppelin.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, you can't do that seriously.
No.
So, but Shirley, he was a bit of an adventurer, and he used to fly ultralights. I don't know if you're familiar with ultralights. They're very light airframe, like you sit on it, and it's got an engine in the back, and wings, fiberglass, canvas, whatever. I'm not an expert in the makeup of ultralights, but he was flying those for quite a number of years, and then he wanted to get a helicopter license. So he was doing helicopter training, and he was on an unsupervised solo before he got his license, and misjudged. Well, they don't know, but it looked like he misjudged the situation up in Queensland, in the Glasshouse, just west of the Glasshouse Mountains, at a place called Mount Archer. The wind got him, and down he goes. Yes, exactly right.
Very sad.
Yeah. Poor Shirl. Red Symons. He went to a TV variety show called Hey Hey It's Saturday, where a very popular segment was called Red Faces instead of New Faces. So people would come on, perform their talent quest acts, and Red would either mock them or hit a gong. Think Rank TV or movies, the English production house, where they had this big guy hit one of those gongs about 3 foot wide, a metre wide, and so he hit the gong, and the people's act was over.
And there was Mostly gong hitting as opposed
Absolutely.
to, and then they would get scored, and Red would usually give them a 0 or something like
That's
that.
right. But occasionally, if someone was really good, he was fair. He said, "You're great."
The
Good.
whole idea of the show really was to have really shit acts,
Yes, yeah.
and occasionally someone would do something funny, or people would come on and pretend to be Red Symons or those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And of course, the pinnacle was when the group came out with blackface on, and Chris Isaacs wouldn't score them.
Oh, yeah.
He said, "We don't do that anymore in America."
Yeah.
So that didn't go down well.
Yeah. Red then went on to a radio career after that. And,
In fact, most of his career was radio.
yeah.
The vast majority of his career was on ABC radio.
And he burned that later by making some things that were interpreted by the host on a program as racist against Asians. I suspect, looking at them again with my kind heart, giving someone the benefit of the doubt, that he was probably trying to do an echo of his own suck shit days,
Maybe.
and be a bit controversial without actually believing it. But he missed the boat. The times have changed. So he was booted same day from the ABC.
Yeah.
And that was the end of Red.
That was the end of Red, and I assume he's happily retired nowadays.
I would expect so. He wouldn't be short of a quid.
I wouldn't think so.
No.
I wouldn't think so. And he had a son who had some sort of bizarre brain cancer.
Oh no! Wow.
Who died when he was 20, in his early 20s.
The son did.
Yeah. He
Wow.
used to get these tumours used to regrow all the time.
Oh no!
Terrible
Awful.
thing. Yeah.
Awful.
But anyway.
Greg Macainsh.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had the straight image for a reason. He was a fully qualified lawyer, and he then became a music copyright lawyer with APRA, the Australian Performing Rights Association, that looked after copyright breaches and all that sort of thing, protecting the rights of artists. And while he was at APRA, he worked alongside Rob Younger of Radio Birdman.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so can't go wrong. He's got all the contacts.
The one thing I do remember about Red was when he went on to Celebrity, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? And you had to give you gave your money to charity.
Yeah.
And he got on there and he just answered every question right up to the $1 million question.
Wow.
He answered a lot.
He was a smart boy.
He was really smart.
Yeah.
And he got to the $1 million question and he got it wrong.
Oh no.
He got it
Oh no.
and went back down to $32,000.
Oh dear. That's a shame, isn't it?
What's a shame. I was just he just breezed through the entire thing, and however, Molly Meldrum stopped at $500,000 and made $500,000
Wow.
in the same
Molly.
program. Because Molly was smart too.
Yeah, it was.
He was a blithering fool, but he was smart as well.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Interesting contrast.
Anyway, Mick, that's a rollicking story, and we thank you for it, sir. And we will say thanks, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, mate.
Bye
See
for
ya.
now.
Well, folks, that's a wrap. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you're enjoying this, tell your friends about us.